Today, I'm here with Caitlin Krause, experience designer and founder at Mindwise. Caitlin, it is so good to talk with you.
Nathan, it's so good to be here. Always
Ah,
fascinating and wonderful to connect with you.
can you please introduce yourself and what you do in spatial computing?
Sure. I founded a company called Mindwise. It's an XR design consultancy. And so I work there with different levels of imagination, wonder, experience design that also connects with well being and collaboration. And that's in person and that's also in different spatialized applications. And at the same time, I'm an author, I'm a teacher, I teach digital well-being at Stanford. My course is called Digital Well-being, and I added to it by design and then the subtitle Healthy Relationships with Technology. So the course title has a double meaning. It's the relationship that we have with tech. Like right now, we could think about how we feel about our devices, how we feel about spatial computing technology and how it emotionally affects us. And then also, ideally, the human to human relationship mediated by technology. I'm reframing a lot with people how they can use technology and not just treat it in a mindful way, which feels like a do's and don'ts, but treat it in a way that's opening up curiosity and opening up imagination at a time when we need it.
So often, right, technology, AI, XR are often thought of in very technical ways. And I love the meaning that you're bringing to that relationship.
I mean, right now we're living in the modern Frankenstein time, and this is part of what I think is so exciting about the future of AI integration because Mary Shelley had written Frankenstein as the first ever sci fi. It's one of my favorite stories. And I was talking with Rodney Mullen about this and saying, hey, part of this issue is that when Frankenstein created the monster and imbued it with life, he didn't give it a sense of belonging. Like he didn't actually train it well. He just shunned it, left it to go out into the woods and feel that sense of confusion. And then it had to, and I should say, this monster creature had to teach himself, and he was never given a name and never given relationship. And I've been thinking a lot about, both in the context of the book and also beyond, how we're in this age where we treat AI in part with fascination or like it's some kind of, I don't know, exotic animal. And we're not really thinking about how to be in relationship with ourselves and with it so that we can live better and fuller lives.
So we met at an AWE event a few years ago. I'm curious, how many AWE events have you been to, and what is it about them that keeps you coming back?
I've been at AWE 3 times in person, but I've been following it for a long time before that, having lived overseas in Europe. It was very familiar to me before that, and I was drawn to the name, drawn to the community, having lived in Belgium for 2 years and Switzerland for 7 years. When I finally got to experience AWE in person, it was like the crescendo.
Thank you for that. This is the 15th year of, and
Hooray!
hooray,
Yeah.
congratulations,
Yeah.
everyone involved.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we're celebrating the breakthrough year that 2024 is very much seeming to be, both by looking at breakthroughs that are happening right now and looking at the history of XR that has brought us to this moment. Can you tell us about a breakthrough maybe that you're working on this year?
First off, beyond me, it's the 15th year of AWE, and we're also marking a time when I think around the world people have felt both excited about new technology and kind of this moment of now what? Because, I mentioned 2020 and our physical separation. I think that now people are finally learning more about how to integrate XR in a meaningful way. And we don't take for granted being together in person. It's not an either or proposition. So I think that this year is going to be the year when what Kathleen Cohen has called, this idea of a tribrid environment where we can spatialize, we can make something available to people in a distributed way, and we can also celebrate being together in person. And then in a non-binary way, something happens in that space between that I think is the that third part. And that's a lot of what the book that I'm writing coming out this summer about digital well-being that's why 2024, what I want to do and I offer is a way to recontextualize what wellness means. The Surgeon General mentioned that right now we're in a period where there's a loneliness epidemic. So I'm really dedicated to, both through the resources in my book and through what I'm bringing to the community, to be able to offer something that solves that loneliness epidemic and also brings back some balance into the equation.
I love it. The ideas of AI and XR bringing wellness and modes for connection. Seems like you'll have your hands full.
And it's a human Caitlin, even though people might think at the conference that I might be an AI version of myself. No, I'm very much human as we spatialize and create different agents that can act on our behalf.
I know that at AWE in June, you'll be part of a talk and doing a book signing. Who should come to your talk, and what are you excited to share from the stage?
Well, I'm super excited to share from the stage and also to engage in active offstage conversations. People are going to get many chances to interact with me and to both learn about the book and also talk about concepts that are related to, it could be well-being, it could be imagination, it could be collaboration. All of those three work together in what I do. So when I'm thinking about segments and people maybe feeling like they're in silos, maybe they're coming to AWE and they're a software developer, maybe they're a strategist, maybe they're involved in business and manufacturing. And I know we've talked before about these areas. For me, I go beyond boundaries. I work with a lot of different groups. I've worked with a lot of enterprises, and I've also worked with people individually. So what I would want to bring is that the opportunity to experience something that is deeply rich in imagination is open to everybody. And everybody has said to me they need a more innovative mindset. They need a way to come back to themselves as they're involved in, really lifting up experiences for other people. We're all involved in some kind of product or some kind of experience engagement that's going to reach other people. So I want to be part of having that conversation with others at AWE and leave it open to everybody to find me.
Oh my goodness, you've got your invitation to come find Caitlin Krause at AWE.
I'm also very curious. Like, I'm going to be out there on the floor, right?
So you actually just predicted my next question. What are you hoping to learn at AWE, and what are the questions you're bringing to ask to the other guests and attendees?
So curiosity is one of my strong suits, and I ride that wave. So the nice part is AWE for me is an emergent experience. I usually go in, and one of my hacks is to look at the program ahead of time, plan the talks I want to be at, plan the spaces physically. And you and I know it can be very busy and really, stimulating for all the senses to be experiencing something in live time with a lot of people. I leave gaps. I leave gaps in between that are my wander and wonder time, where I'll walk through the expo floor, have conversations with people. Then you're going to see someone who says to you, hey, did you see that? I experienced something over there, and you won't have heard about it. So my plan is to really go in and have great conversations with people that I'm looking forward to seeing that I haven't seen in a while. We're going to catch up. I'll hear some really wonderful, amazing talks. This is what I love. And then just that spirit of play where I let myself be surprised. So that's what I'm going to go in doing, saying, how can I design my AWE experience to be the richest and the most semi-spontaneous, that I leave coming away with so much more than I expected.
One of my favorite conversations to ask people about, for those maybe who aren't already in XR, is that everybody who works in the industry had some sort of aha moment that changed their mind and got them dedicated to the space. What's your origin story in XR? I'm super curious.
My origin story is many layers. I have a background in poetry, and I see XR, the moment I came to experience it, it was like a poetic experience for me. So my aha moment is living overseas in Switzerland. So I was looking at immersive storytelling at the time. This is a while back. I went into Google. My friend Rupert is involved and had made a VR lab at Google where he had a great onboarding setup where you were led in to put on a device. And I had never had this experience before. The experience that I want to mention is called irrational exuberance. It was way back when. And I went in, Nathan, and people who've experienced before are going to know that this is awe and wonder in a nutshell. So all I saw was that I was in what looked like a cave, and I laid down on the carpeted floor. I felt it, and I felt this intimacy, and that's what was my aha moment. I realized, wow, this experience in VR has an opportunity to be very nurturing, very healing. I'd been working a lot on how does our brain think in the most creative way to produce an output, and I thought, wow, it's about that moment before. How do we prime ourselves for imagination? And so my friend Rupert was hosting me, and he also had a value set where he didn't want to interrupt the experience. Don't give it away. Don't tell Caitlin that she has to do this. Don't interrupt to say, put your hand up and use your controller to do something. And so he let me. I was supposed to do things to the environment to try to get out. All I was doing was lying on the carpeted floor. You can imagine. I was there maybe for almost an hour just meditating. I didn't need anything. There was some ambient music. I was just, this is perfect. Then I gradually started tapping. Things started happening. Rupert was saying to me, hey, Caitlin, you could tap some more. You could do some more if you want to. I tap more, tap more. I was floating on an asteroid in outer space. And I'd been floating there inside the asteroid, just feeling completely, just in wonder. Sometimes wonder is in the smallest things and not the biggest explosions. You get out and you realize galaxies and stars are whizzing by you. And it's such a wonderful experience of inside out connection, which is another one of my themes. Like, you connect first inside, and then you can experience all the drama that's happening around you. I did get out of that asteroid and stand on the outside of it and experience wonder that way too. But I did not rush the journey. And that's what I believe. We don't have to rush it.
I love that the aha moment was taking an hour to enjoy a scenic location.
With a friend who'd been through it before and just couldn't wait for me to get out and realize what it was all about, actually. About patience. Yeah.
Well, and how you can have an impact in your users' lives in ways that you may never expect. And sometimes less is more.
And there's a lot to be said for safety and staging, right? Having a journey where they play the hero.
Caitlin, it has been so good to chat with you. I know you need to get going. So I guess we'll just have to see you in Long Beach, California, June 18th through 20th at AWE USA 2024.
You can tell from my smile, I cannot wait to be there. I will see you there.
See you there. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Nathan. Bye, everybody.